Hello, my name is Fahrizal Alfarik. In this presentation, I will outline performance analysis of jammer gun at company Radar Telekomunikasi Indonesia with my academic supervisor, Mr. Ibrahim Solihin, and my field supervisor is Mr. Tantan Maulana. For the first, we have background and objective. As you know, on this modern era, wireless systems continue to expand, and with them comes the risk of signal misuse, particularly by drone entering the restricted areas. Jammer guns are designed to disrupt this link by transmitting the directional interference across multiple frequencies. For the internship, we have three core objectives. First, to understand the operating principle and RF mechanism of a jammer gun. Second, to observe industrial level assembly, testing, and calibration process. And third and lastly, to identify the technical parameters such as output power, operating range, and antenna directionally. Okay. For next segment, this time and location implementation. The internship was carried out from July 7 to December 7, 2025, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. The day is Monday to Friday. The location held in Titan Point Workshop. We enter the problem analysis. On this segment, we have four main issues were identified. One is inconsistent performance between jammer units. Two is a weak effectiveness at low frequency band, especially the 433 megahertz. Three is limited field validation, making a real-world jamming range difficult to quantify. And four is wide frequency offset that risks interfering with unintended communication system. Okay. Next, we have the activity result. Jammer gun. Okay, jammer gun. Basic principle is degrade the target signal to interference ratio by transmitting the noise or interference at the same or very close frequencies as the target link. The testing was conducted on 6 band, or people call the frequency is ISM, industrial, scientific, and medical. Okay, next is jammer gun measurement. On the measurement, the device I use is RF spectrum analyzer and horn antenna for the receiver. As you can see on here, the jammer gun is fired direct to antenna horn receive and give it to spectrum analyzer for read the output power. But before this measurement conduct, we have to check the coaxial cable condition and connection for the read the power and stable for the spectrum analyzer. Apply 20 dB attenuation to protect the measure equipment or the spectrum analyzer from the power that exceed spectrum analyzer can hold the power. Last, for the easy read on spectrum analyzer, we set the frequency span to 150 to 400 megahertz, aligned to the operating frequency. Okay. Okay, here the jammer gun measurement. The All three units, or the Jammergun 1, Jammergun 2, Jammergun 3, have same trend that strong performance at mid to high frequency band and weak output at low frequency band, especially on 3300 MHz. As I can see on the chart in here, peak output power across each operating frequency band. Okay, here the 433 is the maximum, is like minus 35 dBm, but on 900 is like jumping to minus, peak is minus 14 dBm. So here is my analysis. The first one is the RF design is clearly more optimized for mid to high frequency band. The evidence is from the chart. This, and the second, low band performance is insufficient. The power level is too low to sustain effective jamming, even though propagation should theoretically favor lower frequencies. And the third is imbalance across RF module. Confirm that calibration or reconfiguration is required at the module level. And the fourth or last, the offset is large, it's 20 to 40 MHz. That risk of failing to accurately target the intent signal. The example is here. Jammergun 2 on the 1.5 GHz. Here on 1.5 GHz, Jammergun 2 doesn't have any power on 1.5 GHz or on the center frequency here. So if you have a device that frequency 1.5 GHz, then I use the Jammergun 2 to jamming the device. The device not got jammed because the Jammergun 2 on 1.5 Okay, as you can see on the analysis, the strongest performance occurs at mid to high frequency band, which align with modern drone communication bands, and output at the low frequency band is significantly lower, indicating weakness in the low frequency RF chain. And the frequency deviation or offset 20 to 40 MHz suggests is instability in the local oscillator or VCO and must be correct to maintain accuracy. Overall, the device is more suitable for counter UAS operation, but improvement in low power and frequency stability are still necessary for radio UHF or ultra high frequency that used on the military system. Okay, for the suggestion that I have 3 improvements I recommend. One is recalibrate the frequency source to reduce deviation. 2, enhance low frequency output lower through RF redesign or gain adjustment. 3, extend bandwidth and spectrum testing to achieve more comprehensive performance verification. Okay, that's the conclude the performance analysis of the Jammergun. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.